Hi everyone, this is Manas Ram from Nivaa Sciences, and today we are in conversations with Her Holiness Divyanandaprana Mataji from Sri Ramakrishna Sharada Mission. This is part 3 of our web series, and today we're going to talk about the relevance of ancient Indian spirituality in modern India. Welcome, Mataji.
Thank you.
Mataji, my first question to you is Hinduism is called a way of life. So, say 20 years back when I grew up in India, when we saw that there was a lot of spiritual infrastructure ingrained in our lives, the way
Right.
we celebrated festivals, there were particular things which were done for every festival. But when you look at India today, a lot has changed, which means to say that most of these festivals or these customs are determined by how much economics they bring into people's lives and no longer
Right.
represent the
Mm.
true meaning. So, my question to you is how can one utilize this inbuilt spiritual infrastructure which was part of Hinduism today?
Yeah. It's a very practical question. See, we can definitely draw from what has been built and handed over to us. But if we don't succeed in transmitting the will required for that in the form of sanskars, then of course the upcoming generations may just put a block. They may not want that spiritual teaching, those special customs which actually were meant to rewire your brain and put certain sanskars into your mind. That was the whole purpose. So they may actually not want that unless we succeed in transmitting these values to our upcoming generations. So a lot of this depends upon parents and teachers. It is so very important for parents and teachers to sensitize our the children about these things. If that is not done, there will be a disconnect definitely.
Yes.
So,
True,
yeah.
because the spiritual infrastructure was so much ingrained in our life that consciously or unconsciously we were moving towards it and we could just pick it up from wherever we are if we lived the
Right.
true ancient Indian way of life. So,
Right.
now to the next question. In the Indian systems, when we talk about the spiritual infrastructure, there were many clues to the secrets of the universe. For example, if we take the Dasha Avatars itself, you'll actually see the evolution of the avatars from being
Yeah.
an amphibian to an animal to a half human, then a
Right.
realized human. So, like that, are there other things which we have missed out because a lot of people in this day and age do not notice it anymore?
Yeah, you're right. In fact, in I would say in the realm of psychology, in the techniques of meditation, there's a whole wealth of knowledge available to us.
Mm-hmm.
And in of course in philosophy, I would also say in what today we call it's called cognitive reframing, mind management, and in all these, the yogic sciences have a lot to contribute. So we should be able to draw from that. In fact, primarily that is what I'm striving for, to bring all that knowledge into our everyday thinking through our academia.
True. Yeah.
If that can be made possible, then yoga and Vedanta will naturally come into your life. You can refer to the book Science of Happiness, which we released some time back. So that there you will see it was actually a course given at IIT Delhi, but the principles of happiness which you find in yoga and Vedanta,
Mm-hmm.
and how exactly they are to be uh, sort of not that you have to learn them as such, but you can bring it into your lives through certain ways of living. As you said, Hinduism is a way of life. So if we can inculcate some such things, they are very impersonal principles. If we can inculcate them into our young people through methods, through making them do certain things, making them follow certain customs, then I think that will make a huge difference. Otherwise, we will be losing a large part of our spiritual heritage, isn't it?
True.
It's like a thread, it has to be kept up. And that is why, this kind of thing is not actually taught, but it is transmitted. The enthusiasm and the bhav of the parents and all that, it matters a lot. in doing this. So if we preserve it, it will be a step forward for the upcoming generations. Otherwise, they will have to undergo the
Turn
training and
again.
the struggles themselves to discover these things.
True. Yeah, they would have to rediscover themselves before finding them
Yeah.
again, which
Right.
was somewhere part of our lives. It was
Yeah.
probably taken for granted by many people, but
Yeah.
it helped us a lot, because even after
True.
moving away from India 10 to 12 years later, I still look back and like, okay, this was done for this particular aspect of my life and it's helping me today.
True. True.
Let's move on to the next section. So I'm asking you this because you lecture across India and in various parts of the world. So India as such is a diverse country. So every 100 kilometers, we have a different kind of culture, different language, different dressing sense, different spiritual practices to that end. When you're lecturing, how do you harmonize these factors?
Yeah. So, putting things in context are very important, especially when you are lecturing in different parts. But what I do is I exclusively focus upon principles. Like, for example, instead of teaching merely concentration techniques, I will give them the yogic understanding of focus.
Hmm.
Once they understand that these are the elements involved in focus, and it is something to do with my awareness and the calmness of my mind, they will invent their own techniques.
Hmm. True. Okay.
Yeah, so I make them understand the fundamentals. In fact, Vedanta is generating the awareness about the fundamental nature of your existence.
Hmm.
And if they get that, and these are all very general principles, if they get that, I know today's young people have the great creative capacity of inventing their own techniques to make that realizable in their lives.
Yeah.
And I have seen this. In fact, when I was working with IIT Delhi, uh, we had to frame practicals for whatever they were learning, and they would give me suggestions how the practicals could be. And in fact, we did the entire Gayatri mantra, and its recitation, the intonation, and the Purascharan was a kind of practical with them. Karma Yoga was practical because they had to go to a slum and serve um, people across communities there. So, like this, they are capable of inventing techniques to make these concepts real in their lives. So, I think this is what I at least do. I focus on the fundamental principle. But yes, I have seen a lot of differences, not only in within India but everywhere. People understand things according to their culture and their whatever they are conditioned into.
How
So,
they've grown up,
uh,
basically. Yeah.
yeah, true. So what we can do is see in all these things, the enthusiasm of the teacher matters a lot.
Yeah.
If you are absolutely riveted on getting this knowledge and bringing this knowledge to the forefront of your life, you will get the power to transmit it across any mind.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I think that makes a huge difference. In fact, we require teachers like this. You were telling me, that what would happen if the existing spiritual infrastructure collapses if our young people are not able to take it. The only way to keep it balanced and to keep it to revive it is, I think, you need powerful teachers. One teacher can change thousands of minds.
Yes, true. Yes. Okay. So we spoke about a lot of spirituality. We spoke about seekers and stuff. So my next question is around that. How essential is it to find a guru? And what is the first step towards it?
Yeah, guru is absolutely essential. See, Vivekananda, look at his own life. When he was a young man, he was full of doubts and he would ask so many people, have you seen God? Is God really there, or, well, it's just a makeup? So he had all these questions. He was agnostic. He was uh, very, very open to, even today's youngsters do this, to all thinking in different ways, to the different philosophies. He would not believe, he would not have he did not have that kind of a faith, piety, and that not like that. He was a staunch rationalist, and he would go after truth wherever it took him.
Mm-hmm.
And he did not readily believe. He would experiment and see if it was true or not. In fact, he even tested Sri Ramakrishna in so many ways. But you see, finally, when he comes to Sri Ramakrishna tells him, see, you are asking, have you seen God? I will tell you, I have seen God, and I can make you see him.
Mm-hmm.
And Vivekananda started visiting Sri Ramakrishna, lived with him for days together, actually experienced what is called God consciousness. And from that came out his entire understanding, his philosophy, his knowledge, everything. So, a guru is indispensable in spiritual life. Many things may teach you many things, okay? Like many people may teach you a whole lot of spiritual knowledge they may give you, but the technique to perfect your spiritual discipline comes directly from the guru.
Mm.
And it is a kind of transmission of power, because I told you these things are transmitted and not verbally taught like that.
Yes, true. Not theoretical knowledge, but practical
Yeah.
implementation. So, in today's world, what's happening is there's a lot of talk about good gurus, bad gurus. Some people are utilizing
Yeah.
it in different ways. How does one recognize a good guru
Yeah.
or the right guru?
Yeah. So actually, you can recognize a deeply spiritual person by the amount of peace and purity you feel in his or her presence.
Hmm. Okay.
Because if the soul has really turned towards God completely, that person will become godlike.
Okay. So he
Uh,
basically radiates the energy of higher super consciousness around.
yeah. Yes. And his entire mind, even his body, will have a luminosity which you will not find ordinarily. For the simple reason, he is steeped in God consciousness.
Hmm. Okay.
So, such a person definitely has the highest impact on sensitive minds.
Okay. Nice. Um, it was very nice talking to you, Mataji. Thanks for spending time with us. And for the benefit of the audience, I would also say that do follow Mataji's channel on YouTube. Her lectures in IIT and various other lectures are released on that, and it is mind opening. It will help you in your life. So, thank you, Mataji. We'll see you again sometime soon, probably. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.